you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thanks to each of you for that very warm welcome. It is really great to be with you here in Phoenix. And let me say right from the outset how much I appreciate and thank the Iranian-American community of Arizona for organizing this very timely conference. I'm also honored to be on the dais today with such a distinguished group of individuals. In particular, if I might single one out, the man that I've traveled around the globe with, trying to bring attention to the cause of the MEK, the Mayor Rudy Giuliani. But it's a pleasure to be with each and every one of you. And to our very good friends and close friends in Camp Liberty, Salam Alaikum. Last Tuesday, the crisis in the Middle East was once again shockingly striking a note that was close to home when Kayla Mueller's family confirmed that this 26-year-old aid worker had been killed in Syria approximately 1 year and 7 months after she had been taken captive by the Islamic State, otherwise called today ISIS, and had been killed. But I fear as long as the Obama administration's current weak-will policy persists, that she is not going to be the last. The time for leading from behind should be over. That you stand for what's right and you fight for what's right. For the human lives across the globe, what the price will be if we do nothing. You don't reveal your strategy to the enemy, and certainly you don't tell them what your force levels are going to be, and you don't tell them what the time constraints that you're working under is. And although ISIS has thoroughly dominated the headlines coming directly out of the Middle East in recent months, as we've all seen, this occasion provided a very useful opportunity to remind the world that Tehran is essentially the modern prototype of fundamentalist Islam, a perverted version of the great religion, of course predating ISIS, predating al-Qaeda, and being responsible for the first major confrontation between the Islamic fundamentalism and the West during the 1979 Iran hostage crisis. Because the problem at the moment may be ISIS, but the problem in general throughout the Middle East is Islamic extremism, and Iran embodies that. The facts should be rather obvious, but the current administration appears to be blind to every aspect of Iran's behavior and their impact on global stability that doesn't directly affect the nuclear negotiations or the short-term combat with ISIS. And yet lawmakers from both parties, and in particular the esteemed chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator John McCain, they are well aware of Iran's past double-dealing on the nuclear issue, and they are very rightly concerned that the Islamic Republic's unwillingness to compromise on the forthcoming deal signals that we're just going to get more of the same out of Iran. Likewise, Iran's critics in the U.S. Congress and foreign policy circles have not forgotten that Iran is consistently listed as the leading exporter of terrorism in the world. The MEK is too often neglected, although they are fighting on a daily basis, as we see here. They are paying the price because they are fighting for democratic rule and a more tolerant version of their faith. They're fighting for government that promotes gender equality, universal suffrage, religious tolerance, and a non-nuclear Iran. The correct policy for the United States is to support these groups in lieu of choosing another among equally monstrous established powers such as Iran that can only further destabilize the region and lead to more deaths not only among Middle Easterners, but also among Westerners as well, like Kayla Mueller. To partner with Iran in the fight against ISIS is like asking the arsonist to help put out the fire. This would be a recipe for disaster in every way, shape, and form. ISIS is a plague, and it must be uprooted, and it must be stamped out. But to do so, we must eliminate the root cause of fundamentalist Islam, namely the regime in Tehran, which has acted as the central banker of terrorism and the ideological, the financial, political, and military background for extremism in the region for the past 35 years. In closing, I want to tell our friends at Camp Liberty that we stand with you. Not a day goes by that I personally do not pray for your welfare and safe being. And I would also add that I would ask the United States to at least consider arming the residents at Camp Liberty. In America, we have a thing called the Second Amendment, and it is something that is guaranteed to our citizens. I guarantee you these are fighters, and if faced with the choice of having their hands tied behind their back and shot through they'll come out fighting, but they've got to have something to fight with. They are making daily sacrifices, enormous sacrifices, and basically to make sure that they can fight to see Iran, one of these days, torn from the clutches of the mullahs. And I hope that we all can join together, along with the residents of Camp Liberty, in a free and democratic Iran. And with your continued support, and with the will and strong support of those still at Camp Liberty, and the enormous support from President-elect Roger V., I am confident that one day, very soon, that will come true. Thank you, and may God bless. Thank you.